Hello and welcome everyone to the Path to the Podium podcast. I'm Caden, and we're going to share our experience and how we're working our way to the top of the podium for our first big TSA event.
And I'm Eddie, and I'm so excited to join today's discussion about TSA, since TSA has been a big part of my journey in my school year. Whether you're new to TSA or a seasoned competitor, today's episode is packed with helpful tips.
I bet you're wondering what TSA even is.
Yes, kidding, what's TSA?
TSA stands for Technical Student Association, where everyone gets together and see who's the biggest nerd.
What do you mean with nerds? I mean, how do you get to know TSA?
The way that I got to know TSA is that I was in my engineering class, and my teacher, Mr. Raymond, which is now my TSA advisor, he made an announcement saying, "Would you guys like to join TSA? We do a bunch of these cool competitions."
Oh, really? And how long ago did Mr. Raymond tell you about TSA?
Mr. Raymond told me about TSA only a few months ago.
No way. So it means like you're new? Is this like actually gonna be your first big competition?
Yeah, that's literally what I started off with.
So how do you know what events you wanted to choose or which ones are better for you?
The way that I chose my TSA events is what I chose is what my passion and what my strengths are. And I saw that there was children's stories and audio podcasting. And for me, I really care about the children. And I felt like a good way to connect to them and to lead them into our future was to teach them TSA stories and write the stories for them. And audio podcasting is just a good way to express myself emotionally and creatively.
So do you have a plan for doing your TSA events or how do you manage your time for doing them?
Yes, I did make a plan. Using a Microsoft Excel sheet, I set up deadlines and how long the deadlines would take in hours and how many hours a day I was going to put into those deadlines so I'd know how many days it would take.
Oh, that's actually a really good idea. And for example, for other teammates that you were doing projects with, do you have like a shared schedule or how do you manage your time? I mean, do you get to practice?
What I would do is when I'm working with my teammates, I would share that Excel sheet to them and I would give them the specific deadlines that they would be working on. And we would do the same setup with the amount of hours we would do each day so we can know exactly when we will hit those deadlines and finish the teamwork together.
Oh, that's actually pretty smart. So, for attending to your first TSA conference, how are you preparing? What do you need? What are your packing essentials?
So, what to bring for your first TSA conference? What I'm packing for an overnight stay of any amount of time, I would bring self care products. Now, if you're smelling good and you're looking good, and speaking of looking good, you want to bring the proper attire. You need to bring the proper pants, which is usually gray Jesh pants. Make sure you have the proper shoes. Make sure you have the TSA shirt, and make sure you have good going out clothes because you're going to be going out a lot.
Okay, okay, those are really good tips. So now that you get to TSA, to the competition, how do you sign in for the interview? What do you need to do? How do you sign in for your events? Do you need to do it prior the TSA event? Do you need to do it right there? Explain me more.
When you get there, you need to sign up for your events before the deadline. You need to make sure when you get there that you get the files and the paperwork filled out about what you're doing and when you're going to do it. And you need to make sure your events don't overlap themselves because you can't have two events like audio podcasting or children's stories or problem solving and say children's stories and problem solving overlap each other. You're not going to be able to do both. You're going to have to either drop one or figure out a way to do it at a later time and date. So you need to make sure that when you sign up so your events don't overlap and you need to make sure you don't overwhelm yourself.
Oh, very important to remember that. So what you're saying is manage your time, be careful with last minute problems, and have everything ready because after all, you've been waiting for this TSA event so long for it to go bad. So we just want it to go good.
Yes, of course. Everyone is putting so much time into their events. It would be such a waste for you to get there and you don't sign up for it, or when you go to sign up for it, it's too late. That would be the worst thing to happen to me personally because I do not like to waste my time. So I just really need to make sure that when you get there, you need to sign up for your events and make sure they don't overlap and make sure you have all the paperwork filled out and everything you need to submit your projects so that you can go to the podium.
So after you share all these tips to us, how do you feel? Do you feel prepared for your competition? I mean, it's less than a month away. Do you think you're gonna win? Do you feel prepared? Do you feel ready? Do you feel like you're achieving your path to the podium?
Honestly, I do feel like I'm ready. I feel like it's all about mentality and how much work you put in. I know I'm going to be on that podium. So I do not have to worry because I know I put in the work, I know I put in the hours, and I am ready to go. I have done my research. And sometimes you do all the work that you can do. You just got to know that you're going to win.
I guess that's all. I'm Eddie,
And I'm Caden,
and
and
I'll
we'll
see
see
you
you
at
at
the
the
podium.
podium.